Alright, I'm back. Gosh, I'm really trying not to continue posting videos. I think about 20 minutes ago I actually sent her another email sending her this playlist with the intention of really wanting her to understand. It's too bad I gotta be safe and not show the expression on my face right now. You can kind of see my outline. It's dark enough. It's not safe, really, for me to post my identity on YouTube. I've tried that before. It's been over a year. Anyhow, my intentions are good. I'm a really kind of genuine person. I know that. Unfortunately, I'm very traumatized and I'm having trouble understanding other people's choices and decisions, especially the last few professionals that I've had I don't know what you would say. I have trouble finding the right words. That's been going on for a really long time, and let me tell you what, that is frightening when you can't find the right words. You lose people. That makes other people really uncomfortable. They'll turn and look away. And if you can't find a therapist that can handle that, anyway. What I'm trying to talk about now, 2 minutes into this video, is what is a pure wellness counselor? Most people don't even know. I think I said this on my last video briefly. It's 8:42 p.m. I haven't had much sleep, so I don't know how well I'm gonna say this. I was trained in 2008. I was the first group of people in our county to be trained as pure wellness counselors. Now they call us them. I'm not working anymore. I went on to be a crisis line type of person with this really unique type of crisis line training. It was different than normal crisis lines, and I learned to listen in a whole different way. And it took a couple years, and it actually took after my breakdown, which I will start to explain later on this channel, whether anybody's watching or not. Oh dear, I'm gonna lose my train of thought. Here's Vlogs in the Dark, a podcast. I'm starting to... I wish I could show people what happens. I've got enough tools to calmly breathe through this while I just feel really dizzy, and I guess it's called disassociation? I'm not really sure. That is what my last the therapist that I had for almost 2 years called it. And out of besides one person I saw at Benton County Health Department while I was training to be a peer, it was really a unique type of therapy, because I was training to be a counselor, and my counselor that I was seeing at the time had to, what's the word? Gosh, I really don't know the word. See, this is a perfect example of the weird thing that happens to me. I'm very intelligent. This is part of my trauma. See, something happened in 2011 and 2012. Ever since then, I haven't been able to speak, on top of my age 15 to 17 trauma. No, I didn't get raped. Seems like people, that's the first thing they go to. Oh, you're not a veteran? Oh, you must have got raped. Actually, no, not really. I've been raped by people who said they loved me. And even though I do realize that that is a rape, I have a lot of compassion and empathy for people who have been raped by strangers, it seems like. Thank God that hasn't happened to me. I don't ever want it to happen to me. It was bad enough, somebody I loved. It just feels like, oh my gosh, to have that happen with a complete stranger, it just seems like it would be so much more terrifying than enduring it from someone who says they fucking love you. Going way off track. Feels like it's midnight and it's only 8:46 p.m. What is a peer wellness counselor? I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, it was a very trippy training. And I met a lady named Wendy who was just the neatest, I just loved her. She was the best friend I ever had, and I only knew her for about a year. And she passed away. And it doesn't even make any sense why she passed away. I think it was 2009. No, maybe it was 2010. I get really confused. And then, okay, let's back up here. You can't imagine how overwhelming this is for me to think about and try to keep straight. Whew, I went through this all alone, man. I became a peer wellness counselor in 2008. The training, it was Benton County Health Department in Corvallis, Oregon. My supervisor, the main lady, had schizophrenia, and my other supervisor underneath her that I had to answer to directly had bipolar disorder. So a peer is all about, I at that time thought I just had depression. I had once been put in the bipolar category by a really weird therapist and realized that that didn't fit. There was also one time before that my primary doctor, oh my gosh, it was years before that, I can't remember, must have been 95, that I took this multiple choice test my primary doctor had me take, and I mean anybody on a bad day would come out as bipolar, and they put me on a really high dose of lithium and it made me feel like the Walking Dead. So long story short, I became a peer wellness counselor, which is all about you have to have some kind of mental health issue. You have to at least have depression to be a peer wellness counselor. It's all about helping people because you know what it's like. You've gone through the system and had textbook training. Does anybody know what it is to go and see a textbook therapist where all they know is what they've read in a book? So the downside of having a peer wellness specialist or counselor help you is if they're not well enough. Well, I'm starting to think, who is well enough with all the stress in the world right now? I don't think counselors are allowed to be honest. See, that's the thing. The peer wellness thing and the crisis line training I took, and I'm not using the word for it because I just kind of want to stay as anonymous as I can right now, was all about being real and honest. So Dr. Leanne, she even noticed one of the last things she said to me is she goes, it's a paraphrasing. She did it really well. I usually can spot paraphrasing just like that because I've been trained in my own training, man. Paraphrasing is kind of shitty. If you can't do it right, it seems really ingenuine. She was very genuine in her paraphrasing when she said, it sounds like you're getting pulled in all these different directions. And it took me a few weeks to wake up one day and realize, yes, that's exactly it. And I didn't have time to tell her. And so I sent it to her in this video. I guess it really upset. I don't know, man. I'm so embarrassed for my attempt to dare greatly. Daring greatly, like Brene Brown said. And you know, I'm listening to this cassette tape, and the first cassette, I thought to myself, I better not listen to the rest of this or I'm going to do something really dumb. Daring greatly, and apparently that's what I ended up doing. Because she blew me off. Oh man, I would really like to know. You know, I really think I'm done. I don't want to see her again. Yet it would be really nice to have a okay ending with this and just be treated like a real person and not whatever. I mean, this thing that she sent me, it was fake nice. It was fake nice. It was bitchy nice. I'm so confused. I called her and I said, well, she said I think it was my last session or the one before that she goes, I'm sorry, but you kind of have to be a bitch. And I had trouble with that. And I called her about that, and she never called me back. So I'm just getting really confused because I have phone anxiety. Doesn't that sound stupid? I feel like, you know, I'm putting myself down. See, that's something she said in my first session, that it makes other people feel bad when I put myself down. Well, I am such a unique individual that I don't know. I say how I feel, but I don't really feel like I'm putting myself down. I am so resilient, yet I feel like I'm at the end of my fucking rope. I don't know. I'm a contradiction myself. I don't know where I'm going. I'm trying to explain what a peer wellness counselor is. I was trained, but never really did this. I think I completely didn't finish my last thought, so I do apologize for that. I do that a lot. I get all started in one direction and then not finish. Oh my God, this has been going on for so many years. So what is the answer? I don't think it's going to some fucking community center or closer. Oh my God, I can't believe she said that to me. It just blows my mind. Yes, 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 boys and girls. Therapy is subjective. Finding the right fit. I am a kinesthetic learner. And from what I understand, it's really interesting that I just figured that out in the last year. It's kind of embarrassing. It's a learning disability. It makes total sense now. Why I didn't do very well in high school. It's just... I need people to show me how to do things. I can't read a book and figure it out. If someone shows me how to do something, I can figure it out really fast, and then I can look at sorry, I'm really tired. Look at a book and figure it out. People don't have time for that. They think I'm stupid. I don't know. I don't know how to navigate through this world, much less the system. So when I trained as a pure wellness counselor, I would be set up with clients that it really in retrospect seemed like people that the counselors and psychologists, I mean psychiatrists at Benton County Health. Oh man, I'm really tired. Benton County Health Department could not help. That like they were kind of at their wits' end with. They would have us try to help them, and we did. That's what was so amazing about it. And they really loved us. And then all of a sudden something happened. I'm not sure what. All of a sudden they didn't like us anymore, the people that worked at Benton County, and we were under scrutiny. And the weirdest thing happened. It was a stipend payment, STIPEND, and I'm a high school dropout, so I'm very intelligent, except I'm not educated intelligent. And so I have a really hard time talking to people who are textbook intelligent. I say the exact same thing that they're saying, and they don't realize it. I can't say it the right way. And do you have any idea how much of a trigger that is for me, the 51-year-old person that was beat up as age 15 to 17 for hours from this fucking, oh my God, he was just so fucked up. He would put me through this weird thing. He would go on and on and on and pace back and forth for hours, man. I was living in Portland. We were doing a lot of crank. I was 15, he was 18. He thought he was I don't know, some kind of army guy. He put on an army hat. He had skull chewed tobacco in his lip, army boots, army jacket, and he would pace back and forth and just go into this routine. And I was usually sitting on the floor against the wall with my knees up, and my arms wrapped around my knees. And he would go into this weird, what do you call it? See, here I go, losing my words again. Not tradition, but I'll think of it in a minute. But he would say what I did wrong, how I did it wrong, when I did it wrong, why I did it wrong, and then he would go into how I would do it, how I would make sure to never do it wrong in the future. And then I had to repeat that back, that last part, about how I would never do it wrong again, just right, or I would get kicked, thrown across the room. This guy was big, man. He was 18, I was 15. He was like a football player, big guy, and I'm a little person. Not funny, it's just how I cope. And I mean, he threw me. I mean, I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I'm just remembering. I am so strong. It's interesting that when people hear about this, they say things to like, oh, you're just feeling sorry for, well, they're the weak person. They call me weak. They're weak. They can't even listen to what I went through. I lived it. I hardly ever burden anybody with it. If someone watches my YouTube video and hears this, that's on you, man. You can stop anytime. So anyway, I'm at 20 minutes. I'm just 9 p.m. November 22nd, 2019. Trying to explain what a pure wellness counselor is and failing. Okay, I was trained to breathe. No. Yeah, I was. I was trained to help people breathe. I am really good at support groups. A lot of people requested me on the crisis line. I am a really good listener. And I really genuinely care, even about people I don't understand. Yeah. So it's just really interesting. I sent this really long video to Dr. Leanne, and I don't understand why she wouldn't just say, wow, that's too much, man. Instead of just sending me this weird ass fucking affirmation and referral. What the fuck? I'm not used to not being called back. I mean, is this a beach thing? Is this a Newport thing? I've lived in Corvallis all my life, and every therapist was really good at calling me back. So, and I told her that when I met her, and we talked about it, and she's like, well, you know, I work really hard to take enough time off to be here completely for my clients. And man, that sounded really good to me. And I was like, yeah, if I ever was a therapist again, I think working Monday through Thursday, noon to 5 would be a really healthy thing to do. I think that's really good boundaries. Well, I don't know what happened. I'd really like to know what happened, so maybe I could proceed with someone else. Unfortunately, her choice to treat me the way she did, for whatever reasons, is very damaging for me, and I'm just advocating for myself. I don't got anybody to advocate for myself. Right? So that's what a peer was, advocating for other people. They were supposed to match us up with other clients that we could relate to. Unfortunately, I had not been hospitalized at the time. Everyone else I trained with, I had. And I remember joking with them. I actually did. I mean, it wasn't even a joke. I kind of felt left out, because I was the only one that had never been through it. And people I would listen to on the crisis line, it never occurred to me in my whole life that people, like one caller was so afraid. I didn't have proper training to even know how to help this caller. Another one would keep asking. I actually thought and this is something that I was sharing on the video that apparently upset Dr. Leanne. I don't know. Maybe she didn't get that far in it. Maybe I upset her too. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt the best I can. And I know that she's done with me. So that's that, yeah. Anyway, 24 minutes in. Uh-oh, here we go. Okay, what am I talking about? Okay, yeah, the okay person. They would call. We thought as the group. I was a team leader. I don't like talking on the phone. I have social anxiety. Did I mention that? It's really embarrassing. Talking on the phone is worse than meeting somebody in person for me. It's really weird. So being a crisis line worker was a big challenge. And so when the opportunity to be a team leader came up, I grabbed it. And then I would meet with my caller, my operators, my crisis line operators. And since I had been a crisis line operator myself for so long, I knew about the callers that would call in. Now, we kept everything confidential within ourselves, okay? And we would have meetings to try to help. That's what happens. I mean, you know, listening to other people is a lot. We needed someone else to talk to, consult with in a very respectful manner. We genuinely cared about all our callers. And we got stumped. And so we would have, I would have a team leader meeting where we would discuss anything that was difficult and brainstorm on ways to help the callers that we had call in. So yeah, a big part of my video was trying to tell Dr. Leanne about this one caller. I don't know, you know, why would she blow me off? Oh, it's so mind-blowing. Oh, I wish this hadn't happened. I was getting so excited and about therapy. It just blows my mind. This is the third time this has happened. The first time was 2016. Not funny. The second time was 2018, November. See, it was about January. Was it December, January? It was January 2017, actually, right? Because my friend died that was at the groups in Willamette Health Department, Albany, Oregon. Sorry, I'm not making much sense. Oh, not supposed to say sorry. Sorry. Oh, I'm getting so confused. Oops. What was I talking about? Oh man, this is what happens. Dang it. Oh, I was really on a good thought before I got distracted. Alright, so as pure wellness, the okay person, yeah. Because I was trying to explain something really embarrassing. You know, I'm just starting to feel like, is anything okay that I do? And we had a caller that would call in several times a day. And we almost thought it was a crank call at first, and then we realized how genuine this person was. And they would just ask if random, really, things you wouldn't think about ever asking if it was okay. And I don't want to break confidentiality, so I'm walking on eggshells very carefully. I said much more specific things in my video that I dared greatly to send to Dr. Leanne, and was abandoned and referred and not in. It's just not cool. Anyhow, so yeah. My crisis line work and my pure wellness work was a lot different. The training was completely different, and I couldn't intermix the training. I will try to talk about that later because this is almost 30 minutes, and I wouldn't blame anybody if they couldn't sit through this whole thing. I was trained to help the police deal with people with mental health issues. I was trained to sit with people who were suicidal and just be with them. That was really hard. And on the crisis line work, I was trained to listen to people. I had some really tough calls. They still haunt me today. So, long story short, I when I trained with the peers in 2008, everyone else had been through the system completely. I'd only been up to the system to the point where I had not been hospitalized. Then, magically, oh, there's so much to the story, but we'll fast forward to 2011 when something happened where I was set up and no one believed me. And I tried to fight for my life by posting YouTube videos and trying to scare the people that were fucking with me. I lived in a manufactured home park, and these managers came in, the managers that were nice left, and these new people came in from Idaho, and they were really messing with low-income people like myself. And I recognized it right away and tried to stand up for them the only way I could think of. And yeah, it went really bad for me. It's comical that they got away with what they did. So it's just a really long story. I'm getting so mixed up here. I better just stop. All I wanted to do, and we're at 31 minutes, all I wanted to explain was what a peer wellness counselor is, because not many people know, and it's not even really something safe to tell people, especially this day and age with the type of president we have. People think it's okay to just really slam anybody that has feelings or issues. It blows my mind that people think it's okay to be so cruel. Yes, these are evil times, my friends. So, okay, let's try to wrap this up. I ended up going through the system in a really weird way in 2011 and 12, and I remember this one counselor at Benton County Health Department. I don't know if he still works there. I'm not going to disclose his name right now. I remember him saying he was really shocked that it took, what was I, 40? See, I'm 51 now. That was 2008. It's 2019 now. I can't do the math. What was I, 42? I don't know. I remember him saying the weirdest thing. That he was amazed. He was literally jaw dropped to the floor that 2011, 8 years, sorry. I stop breathing properly when I get really upset. 8 years ago, 2011, I'm 51 now, what, 41? 40. I can't do the math. I suck at math. I'm sorry. Excuse me. He was amazed that that was my first trip to the psych ward. And let me tell you, that was a trip, man. There's weird shit that's going on in there. I realized that the callers that were calling in and the people that I was matched up with as a peer wellness counselor before the ward were telling me the truth. And see, before that I wasn't really sure. I was thinking, well, maybe it's their mental illness. It's not. There's things people are doing wrong because they know they can get away with it. I'm not saying that's what Dr. Leanne is doing at all. I think that's a whole different case with her. I was trying to tell her about me and being a peer wellness specialist, counselor, crisis line worker, and relate with her, and I thought it was going well, so yeah, I'm just totally blown away that she would choose as a professional to treat me the way she did. It was wrong, And I think she knows it at some level.